Hello and welcome to Forever Stocks. I'm Rahul Goyal, and in a couple of minutes from now, I'll be joined by my longtime colleague and co-head of research at Equity Master, Tanushree Banerjee. Before she joins me and reveals the most important project of her career, I'll tell you what really got me hooked to the idea of Forever Stocks. There's a very tiny minority of listed companies that has astounded analysts as well as investors for years and years, even decades. It's as if the force of gravity simply doesn't exist for them. No amount of business disruption or political upheaval ever seems to hurt them. On the contrary, they get bigger, better, and leaner after every economic dip and crisis. These stocks are so elusive that investors often wait for years and years to find the right entry points and still end up missing them. And investors who sell these stocks prematurely realize years later how different their lives would have been had they not made the biggest selling blunder ever. And unlike what many people think, these stocks are scattered across market segments. They could be small caps, mid caps, or large caps. They could be blue chip stocks with popular household brands, or they could be very obscure, lesser known, yet great companies that most people don't know about. So, what is the DNA of a forever stock? How do you differentiate a genuine forever stock from a fake one? To put an end to this mystery about forever stocks, Tanushree decided to plunge headlong into this secret little universe of stocks. Her findings, which she will reveal shortly, about how to identify, buy, and ride forever stocks to build extreme wealth were so stunning, it completely blew my mind. What Tanushree is about to reveal has the power to permanently lift you into the premier orbit of extreme wealth. Imagine knowing you don't have to jump in and out of stocks all the time for small size gains. Imagine not having to sit in nervous anticipation every time the result season kicks in or the union budget is around the corner. Imagine the luxury of cutting off from all the noise and not feeling the need to constantly reshuffle and optimize investment strategies every few months. What if you could simply lay your hands directly on the ultimate list of 20 forever stocks that have the potential to be the greatest wealth creators? It may sound incredible, but as you will see, this tiny segment of forever stocks has the potential to keep generating massive returns year after year and even decade after decade. Now, the reason we rushed to organize this special event is this. Right now, while the COVID-19 pandemic is still on, is the perfect time to start building a portfolio of forever stocks. Tanushree has, in fact, discovered a secret tunnel that could guide you to start accumulating forever stocks immediately, starting today. Because as you will see, her research suggests that once this pandemic is over, there could be such a massive economic surge that the window to buy forever stocks could be out of stock for a very long time to come. So let me now invite Tanushree, and she will show you exactly how to start buying forever stocks starting today. Hi Tanushree, thanks for joining me on this very special event, Forever Stocks.
Thanks a lot, Rahul. I'm glad to be here.
So Tanushree, I know you have a lot of very solid research and findings to share with our viewers today. And I'm going to pass on the baton to you very quickly. But if you allow me, I want to quickly tell our viewers how your research project caused a big stir at Equity Master. The day you shared your very first research note on forever stocks, I immediately got calls from our head of marketing, and she was fuming. And I also got worried calls from our senior members of your research team, because all your research was essentially pointing to was one truth. And the truth was that serious long-term investors no longer needed any of our recommendation services. So everyone was rattled, and they were grilling me left, right, and center. I got comments like, Rahul, how can you approve of this project? How can Tanushree do this? It's going to cannibalize our services. This is foolish. It could be suicidal for our business and whatnot. Now, that was scary at first, but for a business that wishes to sustain and grow, it seemed almost suicidal to tell our readers that they no longer need any of our research. That all you really need to get extremely wealthy is the ultimate curated list of 20 stocks and a strategy wherein Tanushree guides you when to enter, how much to allocate, and everything else that you need to know. And then you simply sit back and let the stocks do the magic. You see your investments swell and compound year after year. Your dividend checks keep getting bigger and bigger every year. And even as a majority of companies get seriously dented after every major economic shock and crisis, your forever stocks not only survive the shocks, but somehow come out stronger, leaner, and bigger every single time. You don't have to read every report, constantly worry what would go wrong, and track hundreds of companies. Tanushree will be always by your side, doing all the research and heavy lifting for you, guiding you through every single step on this life-changing wealth creation journey. In fact, if Tanushree's vision matches with your own investing goals, I'd even go so far as to say that you no longer need to renew any of your Equity Master subscriptions. Because honestly, if you're serious and committed to building solid wealth that could last generations, you don't need hundreds of stocks. You just need the 20 best stocks that have the potential to consistently compound your wealth for a very, very long time. I strongly believe anyone who acts on Tanushree's research has the chance to undergo a deep, permanent financial transformation and ascend to an incredibly higher financial orbit that only a few elite can ever access. The best part is, you can do this so quietly and effortlessly that no one around you will even notice that you're fast surpassing your peers. In short, this is huge, and I'm so excited. If you're sitting and watching this today, I'd like you to mark this day in your diary. Maybe check your astrological chart, because in the next 60 odd minutes, you're going to witness a permanent, life-changing financial transformation. This I can guarantee you. Irrespective of what you decide to do after this special event, all I'd recommend is stay tuned till the very end, because we have a very important announcement to make about Tanushree's first set of forever stocks that you could consider acting on right away. Also, I'd recommend you keep a pen and paper handy, because I'm certain you'd want to make lots of notes. And on that note, here's my first question for Tanushree. Please tell us how the idea of forever stocks came to you.
First of all, a big thanks for believing in me, my vision, and my research. So, the idea of forever stocks, it had been playing in my mind for a long time. You see, I have been researching stocks for nearly 2 decades now. I have literally screened thousands of companies. I've analyzed hundreds and hundreds of stocks. I've read innumerable annual reports. My team and I are constantly attending management meetings. we are closely watching the moves and strategies of some of the most savvy and legendary investors of our times. And I don't know if this has been the result of my good luck or skill or both, but I can say I have been fortunate to pick great winners for my readers from time to time.
Tanushree, you're being modest. I think you've enjoyed phenomenal success in your premium recommendation service Stock Select. A cumulative success rate of 73.5%, which means 7 out of 10 recommendations have worked successfully over a 19-year time period. That's no ordinary feat by any standards. Even during the pandemic period, from June 2020 to say March 21, you've closed 19 stock recommendations for your Stock Select subscribers, of which 17 delivered impressive gains. In fact, there's one stock, and I'm sorry I cannot give the name out here because it's still an open position. In April 2020, just after the markets crashed amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Tanushree stuck her neck out and made a bold recommendation on a futuristic technology stock. And in just 1 year, the stock is up 5 times. But this doesn't surprise me one bit because many of your recommended stocks have delivered multifold gains. There's 1082% on Titan in just 2.5 years, 777% in Asian Paints in less than 7 years, 546% in BHEL in around 3 years, 453% in Dr. Reddy's in 8.5 years, 1004% on Exide Industries in less than 9 years, 1197% in State Bank of India in 8 years, 2740% on Voltas in around 7 years, 3309% in L&T in less than 8 years.
I'm glad that thousands of my subscribers had an opportunity to make handsome returns on my recommendations. But I would be doing my most ardent followers a great disservice if I didn't tell them the complete truth. And the truth is that I could have done way better. I did my best so that maximum readers with different financial goals and investment horizons could benefit from my research. You see, many investors don't have a very long-term horizon. And I think that's perfectly fine. Because different people are at different stages of their wealth creation journey. And for one reason or another, people may need to take money out by selling their stocks. So I mainly focus my attention on identifying money-making opportunities, keeping a relatively short investment horizon. And to be honest, for most companies, this approach works perfectly well. You buy when they are available at a bargain price and sell when they are overpriced. Most of the stocks are not worth holding for a very long time. But every once in a while, I'd come across a rare, extraordinary stock that would completely baffle me. They would react very differently to crisis. Their fundamentals would keep getting better and better over time. And they would go on compounding shareholder wealth at a stellar rate, year after year and even decade after decade. For these stocks, the time to sell was almost never. All you had to do was buy them at a reasonable price and just sit tight on them, simply letting them compound your wealth at astounding rates. I became very fascinated with this extremely rare breed of stocks. So I started spending more and more time studying these businesses in greater depth. And what I discovered was such a powerful open secret that I decided to make this one of the most important projects of my career. I say open secret because what I discovered was not at all new. Anyone who has studied Warren Buffett would know it. The legendary investor had laid out the maxim a very long time ago when he said that his favorite holding period was forever. For any serious long-term investor out there, this simple truth has been like an open secret. Buy great companies at a reasonable price and simply don't sell. I can tell you that anyone who has followed this open secret and has bought forever stocks has generated wealth beyond his wildest dreams. But here's the shocking fact. Most people are not able to take advantage of this open secret. Most people tend to settle for average returns when they could be building wealth that lasts generations.
That's fascinating. I wonder why most people refuse to follow the most simple and lucrative path to extreme wealth. But before we get on that discussion, can you tell us about a stock that fits the criteria of a forever stock?
Yes, sure. I think Asian Paints is a classic example of a forever stock. Everyone knows it's a great company, it's a big brand, and that it has created mind-boggling wealth for its investors. Since the time it first went public in 1982, the value of its shares has gone up more than 20,000 times. Anyone who had invested just Rs 500 in the stock back then and simply held on, his investment would be worth more than Rs 1 crore now. But that wasn't the only buying window. Look at this chart. Had you bought Asian Paints in 1991, your investment would be up 863 times now, which means that a mere investment of Rs 10,000 would have grown to more than Rs 86 lakh now. Had you purchased the share in 2001, your investment would be 154 times now, and a tiny investment of Rs 10,000 would have grown into a solid corpus of Rs 15 lakh. Had you purchased the share in 2011, even 2 years after the markets bottomed out after the global financial crisis, your investment would be still up 10 times now. And had you purchased the shares in 2016, your investment would be up 292% now, beating the benchmark indices by a very wide margin. And mind you, I'm not even adding the handsome dividends the company has paid every single year over the last 20 years. Yet, if I were to ask, how many people watching this today have missed buying Asian Paints? I'm sure a majority will say yes. How many of you have held shares of Asian Paints at one point or another but sold off early? I'm confident quite a few will say yes. But if I ask, how many of you have actually gained massively by owning and holding shares of Asian Paints for the long term and have seen your wealth compound year after year? My hunch is that it's going to be a very minuscule number.
That's very intriguing because this stock has been a household name for decades now. Why do you think that most investors saw it, admired it, but never fully participated in its phenomenal wealth creation journey?
I believe there are many reasons for missing such a massive opportunity. And I'll do my best to take our viewers through them so that they never miss out a forever stock again. But one of the big reasons why people missed Asian Paints is because they believed it to be a paint company.
Sorry, what did you just say? Isn't Asian Paints into paints?
Rahul, I know that feels like a shocker. But anyone who evaluates Asian Paints as a paints company is certainly going to miss investing in it.
Okay, I'm very curious to know more. Please continue.
This is one big mistake even I made in my early career. I looked at Asian Paints as a paints company and I evaluated it as a paints company. While I'm glad I was able to recommend it to my subscribers and it was a hugely successful call, but years later when I dug deeper and I found that paint was ancillary to what Asian Paints really did, I was totally blown away.
So what does it really do and how did you find out?
Rahul, when I used to look at the financials of Asian Paints and compare it with its peers, it would baffle me. Having been a lifelong follower of Warren Buffett, the single most question always on my mind is, how does the company ring-fence its market share and profitability? From where does it derive competitive advantage, or what Buffett calls a moat? Because it was very difficult for me to digest how this company managed to dominate the market and outperform its competitors by a very wide margin year after year. For a long time, I convinced myself that the key to the company's moat was its first mover advantage, and that it was a much bigger brand than its competitors, it enjoyed huge economies of scale, and that it was run by an exceptionally great management. These have been the most common arguments amongst the analyst community to explain the phenomenal success of Asian Paints. Now, all of this is true, but if you think about it, paint is not a complicated product or a highly differentiated one. It is not a smartphone, electric vehicle, or a rocket. Paint is a simple product that anybody can manufacture. In fact, if you go and check with an experienced painter or a home interior designer, they will probably rate other global brands above Asian Paints. So if you evaluated Asian Paints as a paints company, you'd probably skip it and buy a relatively cheaper looking company that made superior quality paint. But in doing so, you would never know what Asian Paints really does. This would mean you'd miss the rare opportunity to invest in a stock where you could just sit back and see it grow your wealth year after year and decade after decade. A stock that you could own forever. This is why I say that Asian Paints is not really a paint company. Paint only reveals its exterior and not its core strength. If I had to describe the company, I would say Asian Paints is India's #1 tech-driven supply chain management company. What makes Asian Paints the undisputed king of the paint industry is not the quality of its paint, but its exceptionally ingenious distribution system. The company has built such an impenetrable, intricate and data-driven distribution network that no other competitor can even dare to replicate it. The company bypasses distributors and supplies directly to dealers. Leave aside any paint company. No FMCG has a distribution system as efficient as Asian Paints. Consider this. HUL, which is India's largest FMCG company, has 4,500 distributors to whom it delivers once a week. Asian Paints, on the other hand, delivers paint to more than 70,000 dealers. Not once a week, not once a day, but 4 times a day. If you do the math, it's mind-boggling. What this means is that the company can reach the consumer with the right kind of paint at such breakneck speed and efficiency that not a single competitor can come even close. This is the single biggest reason that allows Asian Paint to dominate the paint industry and generate massive profits year after year. Those outsized profits then fuel the company's growth. And this results in a never-ending virtuous cycle. And this is the secret behind Asian Paints being able to double its business on an average every 4 to 5 years over the last 2 decades. Look at how the company's profits have snowballed over the years.
Wow. I've never heard anyone describe Asian Paints the way you just did. From what you just said, it's evidently much, much more than a regular paint company. I think anyone who would figure this out about Asian Paints would realize it's an unstoppable money-making machine. They would simply want to buy the stock and leave it as a legacy for their children and grandchildren.
That's exactly my goal with Forever Stocks. I want to give my subscribers a list of 20 Forever stocks that they can simply buy and forget. Take Page Industries for example, the company that manufactures the Jockey brand of underwear in India and some neighboring countries. It's obviously a well-known stock now, but back in 2007, when it listed on the Indian bourses, it wasn't a widely known company. In fact, people are often surprised when I tell them that the retail category of the IPO wasn't even fully subscribed at that time. I remember everything very vividly because our team was closely tracking the stock. And then in early 2009, just when the markets were near rock bottom levels after the massive crash of 2008-2009, we swooped in and recommended a buy on Page Industries in our small cap recommendation service at Rs 305 per share. And then in a fairly short period, the stock went up multifold. And by then, most people thought it was way too expensive, that the growth engine was likely to slow down, that the stock's dream rally wouldn't last long. People didn't think too highly of a company that was, after all, making just undergarments. But Page Industries was unstoppable. It kept scaling new highs and has been a massive 100-bagger for us. Which means that if you had simply acted on our recommendation and patiently held the stock, a mere Rs 1 lakh investment would have been worth nearly Rs 1 crore now. But even if you missed buying it when we first recommended it in 2009, the opportunity wasn't lost. You could have bought the stock 2 years later in 2011, and in just 10 years your investment would have been up nearly 19 times. Even if you have bought the stock 5 years ago, your investment would still be up 2.5 times today. and I haven't even factored in the dividends yet. In the last 10 years alone, the company has paid total dividends exceeding rupees 1000 per share, and this number will only keep getting bigger and bigger over time. Now, anyone who thought Page Industries was just a regular textile company totally missed the point. There is such cutthroat competition in the Indian textile sector, even a lot of well-known clothing brands find it hard to protect their market share and profitability. Fads and fashions change. People's preferences change. Then how does a company like Page Industries defy all the rules of the textile industry? How does it go about destroying its competition, grabbing higher and higher market share without compromising its profitability? And once again, I found that Page Industries was not just a regular textile company. At the heart of its success is one very, very sticky human habit. People seldom change their underwear brands. Page Industries has fully exploited this human tendency with an exceptionally brilliant business model. Great brand, great product, great management, and an unbeatable distribution network. Before Jockey, do you remember any other innerwear brand that had exclusive brand outlets in every Indian city? Before Jockey, did any other brand elevate undergarments to a highly aspirational and premium comfort category? So, what happens when you tie all of this together? You get a forever stock that you would want to hold for years and years, even decades. What I have found about these unstoppable money-making machines is that they never get complacent with their success. They never take their competitive advantage for granted. In fact, they constantly strive to make their moats wider and more durable. So whenever an economic shock or crisis strikes, they don't just manage to survive, they actually thrive.
That's very interesting. Can you elaborate that, please? How do these companies create an advantage out of crisis and distress?
So what typically happens in times of crisis is that a lot of weak players either get dented severely or totally wiped out. But companies like these, forever stocks, they are so lean, nimble and massive cash generators that every crisis becomes an opportunity for them to grab distressed assets, expand market share and fortify their leadership position. So if you notice, when the overall markets witness a sharp crash, these companies are usually the most resilient. They are the first ones to bounce back and continue their upward journey.
So you're essentially saying that the downside risk in these stocks is very limited, but the upside potential, the potential to consistently compound your wealth over the long run is immense.
Absolutely, Rahul.
Now that's very exciting. I remember when you first discussed this idea, you said that forever stocks were like anomalies, like outliers. Can you tell us about your research and what are those very unique qualities that enable them to defy the laws of markets and economics?
What I've been doing lately is taking a very, very in-depth look at why some companies can produce outstanding results over very long periods of time. At the very core, all my forever stocks share some very rare, unique characteristics. They are all great businesses with very solid long-term prospects, where the future growth visibility is high. These are businesses that are not going to become obsolete because of technological disruptions. And these companies are run by extremely visionary and passionate promoters. When I evaluate the quality of a company's management, the most important question for me, besides corporate governance, is, are they great capital allocators? Because the forever stocks I'm looking at churn out tons and tons of cash. And when you have a business that's generating so much cash, you want to be very sure of the people who are going to manage that cash. A lot of times I have seen promoters getting distracted and diverting their cash in very unrelated businesses. And that is something that completely puts me off. Because when I'm betting on forever stocks, I'm taking a really long-term view. And I want to invest in promoters who are visionary and long-term oriented, who are very committed to building and growing their business. So it annoys me when I see promoters randomly buying cricket teams and football teams. I'm not saying these are bad investments. For all you know, they could turn out to be very lucrative. But when I'm evaluating forever stocks, I'm looking for promoters with the right temperament, who are prudent with their capital and very focused on growing their core business. For instance, another forever stock that I really like is Pidilite Industries. I've personally met the management of this company, and this is a stock that we've recommended multiple times at Equity Master. But behind this great wealth compounder is a very inspiring story of two brothers who started a single factory in 1959 that manufactured just one product, Fevicol. Today, Fevicol dominates 60% of the white glue market, but back in 1959, it was a totally new product, a synthetic alternative to animal glue. It was a superior product, but the founders knew it was hard to change consumer habits. So they adopted a very unique and bold marketing strategy. Just as Asian Paints made a bold bet of bypassing distributors and supplying paint directly to dealers, Pidilite promoted Fevicol directly to carpenters and not to retail stores, which was the norm at that time. They knew that carpenters played a decisive role in choosing which adhesive to use. In fact, when I had met the CFO a decade back, I remember him introducing the business as the carpenter's best friend. Well, rest all is history. Fevicol is one of India's biggest brands today. Through a mix of successful organic and inorganic initiatives, Pidilite has grown to become a leading manufacturer of adhesives, sealants and specialty chemicals in India. With a bouquet of popular household brands like Fevicol, Dr. Fixit, M-Seal, Fevistick, Fevicryl, Hobby Ideas, among others. When you have such a fabulous mix of visionary promoters, great growth prospects, dominant market position, and an excellent financial health, you will come across a rare forever stock, an unstoppable money-making machine. Had you bought Pidilite in 1996, your investment would be up 445 times now, which means that a mere investment of Rs 10,000 would have grown into more than Rs 44 lakh now. Had you purchased the share in 2001, your investment would be up 183 times now, and a tiny investment of 10,000 rupees would have grown into a solid corpus of Rs 18 lakh. And let me tell you that these gains do not include the dividends. If you factor in dividends, you would have made 4x gains through dividends alone. Had you purchased your shares in 2011, your investment would still be up more than 12 times now. And had you purchased your shares in 2016, your investment would be up 3 times now, beating the benchmark indices by a wide margin. When you see these gains, it is so clear that this was a stock to simply tightly hold on for a long time. So even though my team and I accurately spotted this great company and recommended a buy on the stock multiple times, I feel terrible. I feel terrible that by exiting prematurely, I deprived my subscribers of a phenomenal opportunity to build massive wealth. And I'm going to change that completely with Forever Stocks, starting today, when I send out the first set of Forever Stocks that people can start accumulating right away. So if you see the Forever Stocks I'm picking, you will see that these companies are typically market leaders in the segments where they operate. And they have a wide and durable competitive advantage that makes it very, very hard for competitors to eat into their market share and profits. In fact, even their competitors admire them and take inspiration from them. But let me tell you, there are very few companies that showcase these unique qualities. You can almost say that these companies are outliers. Once you have spotted these unstoppable money-making machines and the right way to buy them, you almost never have to worry about selling them. Just hold them tight and ride their incredible growth journey.
That sounds very impressive. I have a few questions for you. Can you tell us more about the kind of stocks that will make it to your list of 20 forever stocks? Do forever stocks belong to a particular market segment? And also, how are forever stocks different from the stocks that you pick for your other recommendation service, Stock Select?
I'm picking forever stocks from across market segments. You see, as co-head of research at Equity Master, I have access to all the research that my colleagues do. That gives me the advantage to scour a very wide gamut of high quality stocks that could be potential forever stocks. So my list of 20 forever stocks will have large caps, mid caps as well as small caps. There will be known blue chips that are market leaders. there will be smaller companies that dominate niche market segments. There will be great companies that are immensely popular household brands. And there will be great companies that most people don't know about. And there will also be companies that are work in progress, that have the potential to be next great companies. If they have the DNA of a forever stock, it doesn't matter what they do, how large or small the business is, or to which market segment they belong. I'm glad you asked this question because I have seen people get notions like, this is a large cap, it has already gone up so much, what is the point of investing in it now? Or some argue that small caps can't be held for too long. They are very volatile and risky. And to me, these arguments make zero sense. Asian Paints has been in existence since 1942 and it has consistently delivered double-digit growth in its revenues for 2 decades. And it's been a large-sized blue chip for a very long time now. It was a large company 10 years ago. Did that stop the company's growth engine? Did the stock stop compounding shareholder wealth at a prolific rate? No. Likewise, when our team recommended Page Industries in 2009, it was a small cap with a market cap of less than Rs 350 crores and has been one of the biggest and safest wealth compounders. And I'll reveal yet another finding from my research. All forever stocks are not necessarily popular brands that enjoy immense consumer love, like Asian Paints, Page Industries, Pidilite Industries, Nestle and Titan. Sure, some forever stocks are relatively easier to spot because they are great brands. But there are also some really great companies out there that many haven't even heard about because they are not consumer-facing brands. And yet these businesses are very capital efficient and dominate the niche they operate in. Some of them do it because of very specialized products and modes that are made in other ways. Take for instance Balkrishna Industries. It is not a very well-known name and obviously not a household brand. It's a tire manufacturing company. When our team first recommended this stock more than a decade ago, it was a small cap stock with a market cap of less than Rs 750 crores. You wouldn't blame someone if they thought it was just another tire company and had no chance to stand against the tire giants like MRF and Bridgestone and Michelin. At the surface, the tire business is a boring commoditized business, not a space where you typically look for a forever stocks. But any impatient investor who didn't bother to look beyond the surface of this tire manufacturer would have missed the rare chance to ride a forever stock. Again, look at how the stock has performed over different time periods. It's up more than 5 times over the last 5 years. It's up more than 25 times over the last 10 years. And over a 20-year period, the stock is up more than 2,800 times.
That's amazing. Anyone who manages to ride the phenomenal growth story of even one or few such stocks will experience a big transformation in this wealth status. But tell me one thing. Is it really necessary to hold forever stocks for the really long term, like 10, 15, 20 years? Do they not make money over shorter horizons?
That's a great question. Because I'm sure some people may misinterpret this as an investment strategy where you have to wait for 10, 20 years for the returns to show. But that's a complete misinterpretation. Some think I'm telling them to sow a mango seed today so that 20 years later their next generation would enjoy the fruits of their wisdom and labor. And honestly, this mango tree story is not at all a bad investment idea. I really found it inspiring when I heard it as a child. But with forever stocks, you don't have to wait 10-20 years to see returns. You could potentially start making money on them immediately, and they could deliver good returns even over the next 2 to 3 years. But if you stay invested in them for that shorter horizon, you really miss the whole point of forever stocks. For instance, if you look at this table, you'll see that since 2009, Asian Paints has delivered positive returns for every single year, and that's 12 years in a row. So, you had the opportunity to buy the stock anytime you liked during the last 12 years and you wouldn't have lost money. You could have bought and sold Asian Paints multiple times during the last decade, and each trade would have most likely been profitable. But to me, that sounds like just tasting the cherry and leaving a big gigantic cake for other investors. Why would anyone in their right minds ever do that? In fact, forget Asian Paints. I did a quick backtest on some of the best quality businesses and evaluated how they performed over different time periods. Here's what I discovered. If you sold them in just 3 years, you would walk away with neat profits. But if you held them longer, for say 10 years, you'd see your wealth compound at almost 2x the rate it did during the 3-year period. And as you keep increasing your investment horizon, the compounding rate gets better and better. So at the very core, forever stocks are incredible compounding machines. But I feel while everyone talks about compounding and big returns, the investment behavior reflects that most regular investors have a very superficial understanding of the power of compounding. Because if they really understood it, they would invest very differently.
Everything that you're saying makes perfect sense to me. You have a very logical and in-depth approach. It's based on very solid facts, and there are tons of extremely wealthy investors who would swear by this approach. And yet, the question that arises in my mind is, this looks too simple and easy. Anybody can do this. And if it's really that simple and easy, why is not everyone following this approach and getting extremely wealthy?
I had the same apprehensions when I first started taking deep interest in this approach. Something didn't seem right. People don't deliberately say no to immense riches, except those who are satisfied with very simple existence. Most people are trying hard, doing their level best to do well for themselves and their families. Then why do people make poor choices when the path to great riches is simple and accessible? So I kept researching and diving deeper to understand why most regular investors were turning a blind eye to immense riches. You'll be surprised that almost no investing book I know of has an answer to this. I found my answers outside the realm of traditional investing, from disciplines as varied as neuroscience and evolutionary biology, disciplines that have nothing to do with money making whatsoever. And I discovered that there are 5 very powerful forces acting against the regular investor. Think of it this way. There's a secret tunnel to extreme wealth. This secret tunnel is the simplest and surest way to get immensely wealthy. But there are these 5 powerful forces. I like to call them the forever investor's 5 greatest enemies. They are like heavily armored soldiers guarding the gates of this secret tunnel. They don't let anyone in just like that. You have to pass through a very rigorous screening process. And only the most deserving and eligible wealth seekers are allowed to access the secret tunnel. Now, most regular investors have no clue that these really powerful forces even exist and that they are constantly working against them and blocking them from unleashing the full potential of their wealth creation journey. As a result, they are never able to access this secret tunnel. But those very few investors who manage to identify these 5 forces and pass the test find themselves unlocking unimaginable wealth. I am fully convinced that any investor who has full information about these 5 greatest enemies is already on his way to success. In fact, I even prepared a detailed video that could help you unlock the secret tunnel. And with that, you'll instantly find yourself entering that secret tunnel and on your way to potentially immense riches. And then, in fact, you wouldn't need any guidance or for that matter, anybody's guidance. Anyone who makes it to the secret tunnel is on an irreversible path to extreme wealth.
So here's a big surprise for everyone. Tanushree has developed an in-depth 6-part Forever Stocks Master Series, which she calls the 6 steps to unlock the secret tunnel to extreme wealth. And in this exclusive 6-part Master Series, you'll learn everything you need to know to start building extreme wealth through Forever Stocks. And in fact, one of the videos in this series is entirely about knowing and conquering the forever investor's 5 greatest enemies that Tanushree just talked about. Anyone who joins her on this journey of Forever Stocks, and I'm telling you, it's a journey. It's not a regular recommendation service where you jump in and jump out of stocks. This is the biggest project of our life and the epitome of everything that Equity Master stands for. So anyone who decides to make this journey today will get full access to the entire 6-part Master Series completely free. And the reason we are doing this is that we realized that if you join us on this journey, you'd be stepping into a newer and higher financial orbit. And while it sounds very attractive, and it is indeed, it can also be unsettling initially. Because for many people, getting extremely wealthy beyond their current means is too big a shift to handle. So it would be great to have a coach like Tanushree who would train you and guide you on how to walk this amazing new path to incredible riches. Moving on. Tanushree, I want to ask you something, and it's not about stocks, but something much bigger than that. You've been an India bull all along, and I think that's one of the big reasons behind the success of your stock recommendations. You've been able to cut through the noise, spot the emerging mega trends, and ride them profitably. But what has come as a surprise to many is that you have doubled down on your bet on the India growth story since the COVID-19 pandemic hit. It's very counterintuitive because people see the pandemic as a very negative event, the loss of lives, loss of livelihoods. Some even go as far as to say that this pandemic has set us back by several decades. Anyone watching the news and the social media at the height of the pandemic would paint a very bleak, scary future for this country. So I'd like you to tell your reading of the ground economic realities and why you're still very bullish on India.
Rahul, I'm extremely bullish on India and I have solid research to back that vision. But I'm not oblivious to what's happening right now. The virus is real, the pandemic is real, and the suffering is real. I am not living in some la-la land where I see everything through rose-tinted glasses. Living in Mumbai, I have had a very close and life-threatening encounter with COVID. I have been trapped inside a containment zone for several days, and I know how distressing it is. People haven't seen a pandemic of this magnitude in more than 100 years, and never in recorded history have we ever experienced such prolonged lockdowns. So I understand the fear, panic and distress that people have experienced. But this is just the glass that's half empty. And this is something that has already happened. The worst is already behind us. What I've set my vision on is the glass that is half full and what's beginning to happen and what's about to transform into a massive boom in the coming years. You see, the COVID-19 pandemic exposed how extremely leveraged global manufacturing was on China. Manufacturing companies are now afraid to be solely dependent on this communist dictatorship. A mass movement is underway wherein these companies are diversifying to a number of new manufacturing and supply chain countries.
And India is one of them?
Exactly. India has now positioned itself as a crucial cog in the global manufacturing and supply chain machine. And this is not some imaginary idea that I'm cooking up alone. Some of the most prominent names in the world are betting big on India. It's why Jeff Bezos says, I predict that the 21st century is going to be the Indian century. It's why famed fund manager Mark Mobius says, I believe India is now at the cusp of a big breakthrough in terms of growth and prosperity. Global behemoths like Apple, Samsung, Dell, Foxconn, Pegatron, Wistron are all expanding production in India. And let me tell you that this is not the first time India is set to play a critical role in the global economy. A study commissioned by the United Nations looked back 2000 years and revealed India was the top economic power since the first millennium. We retained this position of global economic dominance until the 17th century.
And then the British came, ransacked our land and enslaved us.
Exactly. But while the British left more than 70 years ago, we have still continued to be prisoners of the old slavish mindset. Most Indians don't even know fully about our glorious past, and that we are now gearing up to reclaim all that we have lost.
Tanushri, I think any true Indian, anyone who believes in the richness of this land and believes in the potential of India, would strongly agree to every single word you just said. But tell me, how soon do you think we'll be able to see very visible signs of this historic economic revival in India?
If history is any guide, I think the post-pandemic economic surge is going to be so massive, it's going to take everyone by surprise. Take the deadliest pandemic of the 20th century, the Spanish flu. It ravaged the world from 1918 to 1920, killing millions and millions of people. But once the pandemic was over, there was such a consumption frenzy, it resulted in one of the most massive economic booms of 1920s. So anyone who's serious about building extreme wealth over the coming years and decades should be building a solid portfolio before the pandemic is over. You never know, this opportunity might go out of stock for another 20 years.
I think you've laid a very compelling macro narrative. And I hope everyone watching this special event is making notes. I'm curious to know how your vision of India's revival fits with Forever Stocks.
Here's how I think. If India is on the cusp of a major economic boom in the coming years and decades, and if India is going to be one of the fastest emerging superpowers in the world, then the most logical thing to do would be to own the greatest, the most world-class companies that this country has produced, and ride the Indian growth story with them.
Some people argue that some of India's greatest companies are already too big and that their best days are behind them. What do you have to say to them?
Rahul, I find it ridiculous when people say this. First of all, I think people confuse great businesses with large companies. Let me make this very clear. Size does not equal greatness. If that was true, wouldn't I just ask you to buy the index? On the contrary, some very large companies that comprise the Nifty 50 index are very mediocre businesses. They may not even be part of the index 5 to 10 years down the line. But let's say, even if a few of India's greatest companies are large caps, so what? I don't want to sound mean here, but people who complain that some of India's greatest companies are already too big are most likely also the same people who find it thrilling to invest in the Apples, Googles and Amazons of the world. Apple's market cap is humongous, not far off from India's GDP. Ironically, there the size doesn't seem to be so much of a concern. But when it comes to India, we are afraid to bet on India's greatest companies because some of them are already too big. You see the conflict in that argument. The truth is that they don't believe in India. They want to be there to make the gains, but they will disappear at the slightest sign of trouble. Don't get me wrong, please. I'm not trying to sound like a jingoist or some crazy patriot who wouldn't like to hear anything against our country. But I also don't like this old Indian mindset, a very defeatist mindset that believes we are poor, we are not good enough, and that we are not good enough to compete globally. A lot of Indian companies are already making great inroads in overseas markets. And in fact, Forever Stocks are at the forefront of this movement. For instance, Asian Paints operates in 14 other countries outside India and has 26 paint manufacturing facilities in the world, servicing consumers in over 60 countries. Pidilite Industries exports more than 500 SKUs every year to 71 countries and has more than 8 overseas manufacturing facilities. Page Industries is the exclusive licensee of Jockey International Inc., USA, for manufacture, distribution and marketing of Jockey brand in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, UAE, Oman and Qatar. Balkrishna Industries exports to over 160 countries. I could go on and on. The larger point here is that as India takes on a newer, bigger strategic role in the global economy, our companies will experience a radical leap in terms of opportunities. And from that vantage point, India and most of its companies are small caps in the global economy. So, the best time to ride this wealth creation journey is now, when we are on the cusp of a big transformation. And what better way to do that than to buy the greatest companies?
Okay, I get it. Makes perfect sense to me. And I can see that forever stocks are perfectly aligned to take advantage of the big economic boom that India is destined to experience in the coming decades.
That's correct, Rahul. But there's one thing I would like to clarify. The success of my forever stocks is not heavily dependent on this economic boom. In fact, forever stocks are known to thrive in all kinds of chaotic situations, political upheavals, and economic distress. If India's economic boom unfolds as the world expects, forever stocks would be the perfect vehicle to ride the growth story. But in case things don't go as expected, let's assume the worst. Then in that case too, it would make sense to own forever stocks. So you don't necessarily have to be very bullish on India.
On that note, I think what you've presented today seems like the perfect strategy for any serious long term investor. But I'm still going to play the devil's advocate here and ask you some very practical questions that I think are important. Is this going to be a passive strategy where people just buy the stocks and then forget about them?
No, Rahul. I think people have a misguided notion about forever stocks, where you buy stocks and just forget them. On the contrary, I'd expect my subscribers to be very active owners of some of the greatest businesses. In fact, in my 6-part master series, I'm going to show my readers why this is so vital. You see, for the average investor, a stock is nothing more than a name with a price tag. And I know for a fact that a vast majority of investors spend unimaginable amounts of time just glued to their screens watching news, stock prices, and quarterly results. It's almost like they are renting stocks for a brief period and then looking for the quickest exit window. That's not the game I want my tribe to play. For them, I have a much bigger goal. I want them to be true owners of the businesses they buy. And when you truly feel that sense of ownership, your perspective changes completely. Because what matters for an owner is very different from a person who is just renting stocks for some months or a couple of years. As an owner, you focus on what truly matters in the long run and focus on the big picture. That's the difference. And that's not at all passive.
I get it. So, what you're going to do is filter out all the daily clutter and hyperactivity of the markets and focus just on what will truly matter in the long run. That's a good strategy. But don't you think by picking only 20 forever stocks and making a long term investment in them, you'd miss out on all the other money making opportunities in the market?
Rahul, I know what you're talking about. And honestly, for a long time, I have felt this fear of missing out, or FOMO, as it's popularly called. It feels counterintuitive to do less, to focus on the 20 biggest opportunities and to let them compound your wealth. We have been conditioned all our lives that the only way to success is hard work, that you have to do more and more to deserve any rewards. So just the idea of getting immensely wealthy while you sit back and relax doesn't sit well with most investors. But most of the mainstream media and the brokerage industry thrive on exactly this conditioning. They create an almost circus-like environment where they make you believe that you'd be foolish if you aren't busy jumping to every new idea, every darling stock, and every market trend. But I don't blame them. It's their business. It's their business to keep people busy. If people shut down CNBC and stop trading day in and day out, how are business channels and brokerage houses going to survive?
I completely agree. This is the very reason why Equity Master even exists, to help investors focus on what truly matters for their long-term success. But Tanushree, every season, Every market cycle has its own set of winners. And I have seen many of them locking gains of 50%, 60%, 70%, 100%, and even more in just 1 or 2 years. Will you not look at these kind of opportunities at all?
That's an interesting question. And to be honest, my answer would be no. To explain, I'll use an analogy from sports. You see, there are different kinds of runners. There are sprinters and there are marathon runners. For sprinters, what matters most is speed. You're running over a short distance at top speed. But if you're a marathon runner, then your best friends are not speed, but stamina and endurance. But speed is very exciting, so sprinters get all the attention. Look at Usain Bolt, the Jamaican sprinter. He is regarded as the fastest man on the planet. Just as thrilling it is to see Usain Bolt flying at top speed, it is thrilling to ride stocks that deliver handsome returns over shorter periods. They are your sprinters. But what once the sprint is over? They lose steam. Most sprinters are not worth holding on for the very long term. So you have no choice but to exit those stocks and keep searching for the next set of sprinters. And that's perfectly fine. All I'm saying is that I have set myself for a very different long-term game. All my forever stocks are marathon runners. They have so much steam in them that they can keep running consistently for years and decades. And when you let these marathon runners compound over such a long period, you produce the most astounding gains. With forever stocks, we simply get out of a very crowded and competitive market and enter the most lucrative orbit of money-making opportunities. Very few understand this, but those who do will have no doubt about what they're doing.
Tanushree, I think your vision is flawless. Anyone who is serious about building immense wealth over the coming years and decades would be in agreement with everything you've said so far. But on a very practical note, how do you go about buying forever stocks? Some of them may be quite expensive, I suppose.
Rahul, that is exactly the question I had for years. For years, I kept looking at forever stocks. They had everything going for them, but my valuation system would simply not allow me to buy them. They almost always seemed too expensive. And I finally realized that I was seeing it the wrong way. I was mistakenly using a framework that was suitable for evaluating stocks from a 2 to 3 year perspective, but was totally ill-suited for evaluating forever stocks, where your investment horizon could be 10, 15, 20 years or even more. This prompted me to develop a whole new system to evaluate forever stocks. And I'm happy to tell you that now I have a system in place that tells me when to buy a forever stock, how much to allocate, and everything that I need to know. In my 6-part Forever Stocks Master Series, I'm going to guide my subscribers on how to build extreme wealth with forever stocks.
That makes sense. But tell me one thing. Wouldn't a market crash be the perfect time to buy forever stocks? And by that logic, wouldn't it be better to wait for that perfect opportunity than start now?
In theory, I agree. A market crash is typically the best time to go bargain hunting and buy the greatest companies. But anyone who believes this strategy actually works in the real world is probably too naive and doesn't know how the markets function. Nobody has the crystal ball that will tell them the exact timing, depth, and duration of a market crash. It is only in retrospect that you can see everything with a clear 2020 vision. After the global financial crisis of 2008-2009, when the markets finally bounced back, a lot of people realized that the crisis was a once-in-a-decade opportunity to buy quality stocks at throwaway prices. So many of them told themselves the next time that there's such a market crash, they will load up on stocks and make a killing in the subsequent bull run. If you recall, India was running a twin deficit in 2013. The rupee was tumbling. The markets were also correcting sharply. But do you think people were buying stocks by the truckloads? Not at all. Retail investors were dumping stocks. And they kept dumping stocks even as India was entering one of the most rewarding bull markets in 2014. In March 2020, the global markets crashed as the coronavirus outbreak escalated into a pandemic. And the markets were abuzz with all kinds of doomsday prediction. But before anyone could figure out what really happened, the markets rebounded very sharply and continued into a heady bull market. Anyone who waited for a 2008-2009 like deep and prolonged market crash is still waiting on the sidelines. If anyone tells you that they are going to buy during the next market crash, I can bet they are not going to buy even when the markets actually crash. Because when the markets crash, there's going to be so much fear, uncertainty, panic, negativity. Most people cannot handle that kind of stress.
What would a market crash mean for Forever stocks? What would you do?
Rahul, I have developed my system in such a way that one doesn't have to wait for a market crash to buy Forever stocks. At the same time, if markets were to crash, it would be a great opportunity that I'm totally prepared to take advantage of. But like I just said, you cannot keep waiting on the sidelines for a market crash.
Tanushree, I'm going to play the devil's advocate one last time. Tell me what could go wrong with Forever stocks.
Rahul, Forever stocks are typically the greatest of companies. And I've explained these are businesses that are not only highly resilient to all kinds of crises, but they are also able to emerge stronger and better after every setback. So what could go wrong? One could go wrong in valuations, but I've already built a system that makes sure you don't end up overpaying for a Forever stock. So what else could go wrong? One could go wrong in the assessment of certain Forever stocks. To hedge that risk, I have built a list of 20 Forever stocks. So even if a few underperform, you still end up with a very solid performance.
Looking at your track record, I'm not at all worried about that. Tell me, what will be your holding period for Forever stocks? When will you ask your subscribers to sell them?
Rahul, Forever stocks is the biggest project of my life. The philosophy of Forever stocks is to buy such great companies that they can potentially keep compounding your wealth, not just for years and years, but even decades. And one of my main goals is to rectify a mistake I made in the past. I don't want to sell my winners too soon, purely based on how expensive they are. So I expect a pretty long holding period for all my Forever stocks. Of course, people are free to book their gains whenever they want. But my research shows that the longer you hold, the better the compounding works. But I'd also like to highlight here that I'm not going to disappear after I'm done recommending my 20 Forever stocks. I'm doing all the homework to make sure that these businesses have very robust long-term fundamentals. And I'm going to continue to monitor them very closely. And I'm going to regularly keep my subscribers updated about what's going on with their Forever stocks. And if at any point I believe that the long-term fundamentals of a Forever stock have been irreversibly dented, I'll pull the plug on them and recommend my subscribers to sell them.
I have a question about your 20 Forever stocks. Why 20? What's so special about that number?
That's my favorite question. The answer goes back to the time when I was in my early 20s and voraciously reading Warren Buffett. One of the many profound ideas that he has gifted the world, the 20 slot rule, really had a huge impact on me. Here's what he famously said. You should approach investing like you have a punch card with 20 punch outs, one for each trade in your life. I think people would be better off if they only had 10 opportunities to buy stocks throughout their lifetime. You know what would happen? They would make sure that each buy was a good one. They would do lots and lots of research before they made the buy. You don't have to have many forex opportunities to get rich. You don't need to do much. But the environment makes you feel like you need to do something all the time. So that's where the idea of 20 stocks came from. I also believe that 20 stocks offer you the chance to build a well-diversified basket of great companies. But having said that, the number 20 is not sacrosanct. If I find more companies that fit all my criteria, I would be happy to recommend them as well. So you could even see me recommending more than 20 stocks.
There's another question I have for you. Tell me, for anyone who invests in stocks, would you say forever stocks are not meant for certain type of investors?
Rahul, I strongly believe forever stocks are for everyone, virtually everyone. So one of the things I hear, a lot of people go, oh no, I'm too aggressive for this. I need to be in small caps and micro caps. I need to make a lot of money. Well, if you study the returns on these forever stocks over time, can you outperform them in 3 years? Sure you can. Can you outperform them over 5 years? Maybe. Can you outperform them in over 10 years, over 15 years, over 20 years? Not a chance, no way. Forever stocks are unbeatable over the long run. So, the thing that I want to ask everyone is, if you know for sure that you can't do better than forever stocks over a decade or more, why would you want to do anything else? If your investment goal is to build a portfolio that lasts for 10 years or 20 years, then there's no question you should be buying forever stocks. Especially people who are in the prime of their careers, who are 35 to 55 years old, who are putting money away every year in stocks. This is the most ideal investment strategy. These are stocks you could hold forever, and they are going to continually increase their dividends, and over time that's going to beat anything else that you do. By the time you retire, you're going to sit on a massive corpus of wealth. You will see your dividend checks bulging every year. You will practically never need to sell your forever stocks. There is no question that this is exactly the kind of fortune you would want to leave an estate.
What if someone is already retired? Can this product still work for them?
Absolutely, yes. I would urge everyone who is retired, if they are going to have equity exposure, this should be the kind of dominant businesses that they would want exposure to. There's just no question. And frankly, even though it's a very conservative way to invest, go back and look at the performance charts I've showed, and you'll see it's also the best way to invest. This is one of the things that I have been amazed by, and I'm amazed that more investors don't understand it. I'm amazed that more business schools don't teach it. It's just such an amazing thing that you can make more money with less risky businesses over time. You can't make more money in 6 months, but you can make more money over time.
Tanushree, this has been one of the most amazing conversations I've had in a while. So many precious insights packed in just an hour. But we're not done yet. The big announcement that everyone has been excitedly waiting for is here. And I'd like to invite Trupti David, our Chief Operating Officer at Equity Master, to do the honors.
Thanks, Rahul. Hello, everyone. I'm Trupti David, and I'm very glad I have the opportunity to make the big announcement today. We've put everything outlined here today into a brand new product. It's called Equity Masters Forever Stocks. The goal behind this new product, other than to guide you build through generational wealth, is to make sure market corrections and crashes won't bother you again. Stock market corrections and recessions are inevitable and painful, but they don't have to be as painful for you. For the rest of your investing life, you won't care nearly as much if the markets went up or down on any given day, week, or month. In fact, you'll find yourself even welcoming downturns because you'll know it presents you with an opportunity to get more shares of India's greatest businesses. With Equity Masters Forever Stocks, should you choose to invest, you can stop comparing your returns to the market or to anyone else and simply make great, consistently great investments for the long term. Best of all, this strategy ignores the market's average returns completely. It requires zero CNBC, zero newsletters, zero hedge fund managers, zero trailing stops, zero options, and zero performance fees. But we know that despite all the evidences that Tanushree put forth today, most people watching will find a reason not to pursue this strategy. It's too long-term oriented. It's not as exciting. Nobody I know invests this way, or the most likely reason, I don't understand how it could be this simple. And it's fine with us. If you never ever make an investment using the strategy we've been talking about today, but if you are not willing to look at the market this way, you should really ask yourself why you are in the market in the first place. This is a low-risk way for you to test this approach for yourself. You don't have to go all in right away. Like I said, we don't believe another investment strategy anywhere in the world could potentially deliver long-term gains of this magnitude, this consistently with so little risk. And you could try it for yourself with just part of your investment for starters. Now, of course, every investment comes with risk. But in the bull markets or bear markets, the companies we recommend in Equity Masters Forever stocks will potentially have huge advantages over every other company that fails to be as capital efficient. That's an unbeatable advantage, and if you are wondering it's not too late to get started with this type of investment, for instance, Coca-Cola went public with its IPO more than a century ago in 1999. But Buffett didn't invest in Coca-Cola until 1988, when he was 58 years old. Between 1988 to 1994, he invested more than $1 billion into Coke stock. Since 1994, he's earned more than $8 billion in dividends alone from his Coke investment. With Equity Masters Forever stocks, you are following a similar strategy. Most investors have hard time believing that investment outcomes like this are possible for them, but they are. And it all starts by taking the first step. Forever Stocks is not your usual recommendation service. It's an extraordinary journey, and if you join us in this journey today, you are setting yourself up for extreme permanent wealth, for wealth that will potentially keep compounding for years and decades. We could easily charge rupees 5 lakh per year for this research. After all, this is the only research you'll ever need for life. Since we are not a portfolio management service or an investment advisor, we never ask for a cut of your potential profits. And I think even at rupees 5 lakh, we'd get hundreds of folks to sign up. But given everything that's happening in the country recently, we want to make this as simple as possible for you to get started. We don't want the price to be a barrier whatsoever, and we'd rather give you the chance to put your capital into the 20 stock recommendations on our list. So as a part of this special presentation, we are welcoming founding members to Equity Masters Forever stock with an annual fee of just rupees 1 lakh. As soon as you sign up, you will be on the list to receive a full report with 5 Forever stocks to buy now. We'll explain why each stock made the cut and provide a full analysis on each of the 5 stocks. Going forward, Tanushree will keep introducing new Forever stocks to her list. She has certain key indicators that she is tracking, and when the remaining stocks become buys, she'll issue an alert and provide a full report on the company so you can begin building position if you choose. She says it's possible that she will complete all her 20 picks within a few short months. So in all, you'll have access to at least 20 stocks that she believes are truly the greatest Indian companies and really the only investments you'll ever need to build your forever fortune. And every month, you will also receive updated information and analysis on all the recommended Forever stocks. Additionally, you get complimentary access to Tanushree's 6-part Forever Stocks Master series called 6 Steps to Unlock the Secret Tunnel to Extreme Wealth, worth rupees 25,000. Tanushree believes this training is highly essential for anyone who wishes to make a fortune with Forever stocks. Basically, everything that you need and will ever need is all yours. As you heard Tanushree say today, Equity Masters Forever stock is the epitome of what she's been studying for the last 20 years. Her masterpiece. Given the state of the world and the economy right now, we are opening the doors this one time for an annual fee of just rupees 1 lakh. I think that for any investor, what we are charging for this research is so unbelievably cheap that I can't imagine anyone would object to it. You have seen the kind of extreme money-making potential Forever stocks have over the long run. The greatest companies with very durable long-term fundamentals. They are programmed to keep compounding at the market-beating rates, year after year, even decade after decade. Even just one Forever stock could potentially fetch you returns many times more than this fee. Imagine what a list of 20 such unstoppable money-making machines could do. So I strongly believe the fee is inconsequential for anyone who is a serious long-term investor and focused on building generational wealth. And if you don't have money to be an investor, that I can't help you with. You have to be a hard worker, you have to be a saver, and then at some point in your life, you get to be an investor. And any serious long-term investor who understands the kind of unstoppable money-making machine he's about to get access and how these Forever stocks don't just produce returns over 1, 2, and 3 years, but have the potential to consistently compound your wealth over very long periods, even decades. He would see that this fee dwarfs in comparison to the long-term return potential that we are looking at with Equity Masters Forever stocks. But wait, as you probably know, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. It's a huge milestone for us, for a business that had a very humble origins. Over the years, we have grown from strength to strength and is still going strong after 25 years. And it is because of serious readers like you who have shown your trust in what we do. So I'm going to make this deal so sweet and irresistible for you that any sensible person who wants to build immense wealth will simply grab this opportunity without a second thought. You see, most people don't have the capacity to really think and plan for a very long term. This is why the very long-term investment zone is least crowded, even though it is the most rewarding. And we know from experience that even people who claim to be serious long-term investors often make very short-sighted decisions. Tanushree and I are clear. We don't want to serve members who think this is a quick, easy money-making scheme. Just the way Tanushree is very particular that the promoters of her Forever stocks be fully aligned with her long-term vision. She is also very insistent that she'd like to build an exclusive tribe of members who strongly believe in the Forever stocks philosophy. So if you think that's not you, we are happy to let you go. We at least hope you take away the learnings from this special event. In fact, we'll even send you a free transcript of this event as a gift, without any conditions or obligations. But if this event was an eye-opener for you, and if Tanushree's most prestigious research project resonated with you, then I don't want you to miss it at any cost. Because the choice that you make today has an impact on the future of your wealth and well-being. What you decide today will have repercussions for the next 20 years and beyond. A yes today will determine what legacy you leave behind for your children, grandchildren, and the generations that follow. So only if you're serious and committed to this idea, I'm going to make you an offer that's going to a complete no-brainer. Here goes. Just pay a one-time fee of rupees 1 lakh and have full access to Equity Masters Forever stocks for life. Yes, for only the first 199 charter members, we are offering this exclusive opportunity to get full lifetime access for a one-time joining fee. This is the only large subscription fee you will ever pay for this research. It does not auto-renew at the same price for years and years like most of our other research. And the only thing you'll ever pay to keep receiving this work is an annual maintenance fee of just rupees 2,950. This fee ensures that we are always able to attract the best talent and get the highest quality data for our analysts to work with. Equity Master started with just 5 employees in 1996, and today we are a large team serving 17,64,790 users across 72 countries worldwide. It's also important you understand that we are unable to offer cash refunds on this charter offer. You'll get the first 5 Forever Stock recommendations shortly after signing up. And once Tanushree builds the entire list of Forever Stocks, we expect very little to ever get added or removed from the list. So it would be too easy for folks just to get the tickers and ask for all the money back. And that's not fair to everyone else. So we cannot offer you cash refund. But if at any time in the next 90 days you are unhappy with Equity Masters Forever Stocks for any reason, you can get your entire 1 lakh back in credit to apply to any of our other research service of your choice. If you're ready to get started with Equity Masters Forever Stocks, all you need to do is click the button below. Remember that this exclusive 25th anniversary lifetime offer is restricted to just 199 charter members. Once these spots fill up, the founding member benefits will disappear forever. Since this one decision has the potential to lift you into a radically higher financial orbit, I don't suggest putting this off. Make a decision now. If you prefer to speak to someone over the phone to place your order, just give a missed call at +91 913 60 Our customer service team is standing by and will call you right back. Well, they're all working from home, so you might experience a little bit longer than usual wait times. But the fastest way to order is to click the button below.